Be back out there this afternoon with a fully padded practice in preparation for Friday night. Obviously a huge challenge going on the road to Cincinnati Friday night. But the kids thought they were very focused yesterday, and they're excited for kind of the fourth quarter of our season. And we talked about it in those terms. Just an opportunity here, at Cincinnati to take on one of the better teams in our league and one of the top teams in the country. They're strong once again this year, and so just a tremendous challenge for us, but one that everyone is really excited about. So should be a good one Friday night. Questions?
Coach, Cincinnati, they had 9 guys drafted, I think, from last year's team, but clearly still a very strong team. Just what do you think that says about what Luke Fickell's done there, the fact that they're competing again for a conference title after all those losses?
Well, I mean, I think that you look at the team they had last year, and we all know what was drafted, and also not only what got drafted, but just how well they're doing. I mean, you got several guys who are having outstanding rookie seasons in the NFL, and so I think when you look at the team that we're going to face, we're facing a veteran football team, and so I think it just says that he's done a great job building that program from a depth perspective. And we're going to face a lot of guys that have played a lot of football, guys that have been a part of their tradition and culture, and so they understand what it means to play at a high level and win at a high level. I just think it's just a sign of the outstanding job he's done.
I know it's only been a week, but is there like a ramp-up process at all, just kind of getting back into the speed and the groove of football?
Yeah, and it's we were in helmets yesterday, but I thought we went pretty good yesterday, and I think it's that fine line that we needed some time to recover. It'd been a pretty hard stretch of 9 weeks straight regular season, so we needed a little bit of time. But at the same time, we're playing so well, and so I think we had enough time off last week. We had 3 really good practices, and we had a good day yesterday. So now it's I think today they've got to take that next step with contact. Because it's going to be a very physical football game Friday night, and it's going to be a big point of emphasis with us this week is that we've got to play a certain way Friday night, which that's the way we've been playing. But I think today's an important day, tomorrow's an important day, and then you kind of sharpen things up and get your mindset ready going into Friday.
They've won 31 in a row at home, but you guys kind of busted a streak at BYU. Is that something, drawing from that road game, that you can build on with your team, not only playing in that atmosphere, but also kind of overcoming maybe some odds there?
Well, I think, again, it's just another indicator of the program they've had over the last 5 years. And so certainly we all know that they've played at a very high level here in the American Conference for quite some time. So I do think the experience at BYU helps our players. I thought that we didn't flinch, and that's a very hostile environment there. So I would say we're going to see something similar Friday night. So I do think it's something that it's good for our kids to have that experience going into this.
Based on what you've seen on film so far with Cincinnati, what specific challenges does that team kind of pose for your program?
Well, I think it depends on which phase you're looking at. I think they're a very complete football team, but you look at them defensively, and certainly they rank at the top or near the top in sacks, tackles for loss, negative plays, and so it's a defense that really puts a lot of pressure on you. You're going to end up in some situations. You like to avoid them, but traditionally they've been able to put some people in some situations where they're behind the chains. But again, I think that's just the benefit of having experienced players. I think you flip over to the other side And with Ritter and company, graduated, they really have not dropped off. I think that Bryant, who spent a year at Eastern Michigan after backing up at Cincinnati for several years, has been very, very solid and is having an outstanding year. They have a list of playmakers, whether it's Tyler Scott or Trey Tucker. They play three different running backs. I think have done a good job in the run game. But this is just a complete, physical, talented football team. So I think the challenge is for us, like I said a while ago, to continue to play and execute at a high level the way we have been for the last month plus.
When you do some self-scouting, and like you said last week, just kind of look at some tendencies, like what goes into that? Are you looking back at all your previous games, or are you just kind of going back to what you've circled? I mean, what kind of goes into this?
Well, you kind of evaluate yourself the way you do an opponent from a standpoint of just looking at things formationally in motion, down and distance wise, just to kind of see what you're showing. I think that both coordinators have done a good job throughout the season of trying to be aware of things, but we all have tendencies. If you're aware of them, then you can either avoid them or break them. But it's good to understand what they are, because that way you can anticipate what kind of look you're going to get.
You mentioned winning the turnover battle. How much does an extra week of preparation help you prepare and ultimately hopefully win that?
Well, I think it comes down to a lot of fundamentals and decision making. So we spent some time last week really focused on it defensively, trying to work some get the ball out, punching out, ripping out stuff. Made that an emphasis last week. The same opposite side offensively, as we really focused on great fundamentals. That's the big thing that I really had our coaches on Tuesday and Wednesday, is just really being big on the small things throughout practice. And I think that's where you can let yourself get a little sloppy at times if you're not really on top of it. And so I really had them hone back in on the way we finished, the way we got the ball tucked post catch or post mesh, and so just trying to do a good job of staying on top of that stuff without us having a game last week.
As you look at all the transfers from the D1 ranks y'all brought in, basically all of them turned into key guys for your team this year. A lot of teams take transfers, and maybe some of them don't work out, and some of them do. But what goes into that process? Maybe evaluating their mental state, or just as far as like the off the field stuff that allows them to fit in your locker room and make that impact?
I think the big thing is just trying to do your research and really get to know them and make sure they fit your culture, fit your locker room. I think all of our guys have done a good job with that. But it goes into just talking to a lot of people that we trust. The coaching profession is such a network that so many people. We try to talk to someone that we feel like is going to give us an honest evaluation. And then, really, I'm still a big gut feeling, meet somebody in person. And, I try to spend a good bit of time with them before we, make a decision one way or the other. And, if I feel comfortable with them, then they're probably going to fit in pretty good in our locker room. And it's really a credit to both our players that we have currently on our roster that, we've grown up, their ability to accept people and bring them into our locker room, and to the new players that we have added this year, and the way they've come in and just tried to be a part of the team, a part of the locker room, not trying to come in trying to be something else. We try to be very transparent with just expectations and the way we operate, and I think that's the big thing, because you want to make sure that everybody understands kind of what the deal is before they get here, and that way nobody feels like they're misled, either us or them. Anything else?
Just curious about the bye week. You guys had the scrimmage on Thursday. Did any positions or players individually stand out during that? I guess the young guy scrimmage or the scout team scrimmage.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. It was spirited as always. We do have some young guys that are, playing a little bit for us special teams wise. And so, you're really kind of, tentative as how much work they got. But I'm sure there's something I could say about a lot of different guys. But, I do think that Sam Danka continues to develop. The biggest thing I told him is, I said, anytime you're anywhere around the fueling station or the training table or whatever, I said, you don't need one serving. I said, you need 3. So he's continued to put on weight, but he's got such a long frame. But he's just got to really work at developing that. But I think he's coming along nicely. I think you saw some of the young offensive kids. I was pleased with some of them. But it's just always good to get those guys some reps there and let them go out there and have some fun. And the travel team guys, they get to be the cheerleaders or whatever. And so it was a good way to end the week.
Anything else?
All right, thanks a lot. Go Pirates.